Lord Harond has much to answer for. His niece, not his daughter, was the one that was captured, and she was the one that was pregnant. All these items from them. Anything of real value? There's another key. Wymond is the leader of this Skane fanatical group. Cables snaking along the floor and across the ceiling connect to a glowing glass chamber. I'm getting tired of these machines messing with all the world.
Steady does it.
Thick liquid bubbles inside the tank, releasing a pungent scent. Motes of essence swirl in the mixture. Unlock this. A dagger. Interesting dagger. Wyman's notebook. The looping scribbles are difficult to read, but as I flip through the pages, I can make out several passages. Near the beginning I read, "Will be a suitable place for my experiments. There is an abundance of space, and more importantly, the locals are content to ignore it. I could probably construct..." I skip ahead several pages. "Willing volunteers. The legacy has brought many grievances to the surface, and capturing the essence is primarily a matter of timing. The ritual of the effigy serves as a good template for a scan the middle of the book. Died and their essence evaporated. Next time I'll have to try a smaller concentration of the reagent." To turn to the last page. "Noble from Defiance Bay. Results were most consistent across other subjects. The challenge is always applying the method to an unwilling participant, but her situation may prove an advantage. If I can bring those memories of her uncle to the forefront, it might render her essence more susceptible to the process." He was basically experimenting with her. Another room here. The place just keeps going and going. An ornate crest decorates this sarcophagus. The name on the lid has been scratched out. Ah, okay, there's a switch here. And this is the way out. That room, that wall, I thought seemed artificial. Or, there for a reason. It definitely is artificial, but stuck out quite easily. Let us go then. Everything we've done, we could do, has been accomplished. Let's not go this way. Let's not go that way. The steward has contacted me. I don't know what about. I think something was finished by one of my party members here. 50,000 copper pound. That's quite a lot we've assembled. And as we continue, this is just going to continue to grow. Let's go confront the Lord Harond. Nothing untoward yet. There he is. No, he's not. But that's another noble. Or at least a rich merchant dressed in finery. Where is he? Lord Harond is resting upstairs. It's obviously going to turn into a big fight once we do go confront him.
Hail and well met.
Still on your feet, eh? Yep, we are. Let's go upstairs and... There he is.
What are you doing up here? Unless... have you news of my daughter?
No,
I've got to get her out of this wretched village.
An elven man paces in the corner of the room, gnawing the thumb of his fine silk glove. I found Elise.
My daughter? Is her Is she safe?
She's dead.
That can't be. She's... What happened?
You know exactly what I discovered.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I've heard enough already. Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
You're not giving me much of a choice. My thoughts exactly. We're going to fight him. Your blow dispatches the old man more quickly than you like, but you're confident no one has heard you. You're also confident that no one asks too many questions when they find him dead. 1,200 copper off that.
Keeping quiet. I've got it.
The man was pretty disgusting. Amulet of Summer Solstice.
I've got it.
Let's be off. I don't think anyone would care. No, the man had to pay for what he did. Otherwise he would just try it with somebody else. Maybe he has another daughter, or another niece. Or one of his cousins will have a niece, or daughter, I mean. Well, that's it. I think we've solved all the issues here with Deerford Village. I still don't know what to do about the machine, though, at Salant Lease and these machines that are causing Hollowborn all over. There must be a way that we can deal with this. Where to go? Well, if we've accomplished everything here... We did have that scroll to return. I think that we did loot the scroll from some bandits. Parable of Whale. A group of thieves has stolen a scroll of whale from the Hall of Reveal Mysteries in Defiance Bay. The High Archivist, Grimda, wants me to track down the thieves and recover the scroll. She mentioned that the thieves, or they had an abandoned farm on the path to Deerford. I'm not sure if we actually found it. I think that we did. You know what? I'm gonna go and speak to these priests. Maybe they'll have an answer. Hello? The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? People in town say that the Hollowborn problem has been especially bad here. It has. Cities and villages all over the Deerwood have seen Hollowborn, but Deerford hasn't seen the birth of an unaffected child in years. Most of our people have moved on to other villages in search of hope, and those who have stayed behind aren't the same. Children promise a future, you know. People change when you take that away from them. It's understandable. Well, there's nothing more to be done here then.
Sure.
Well, we're in the Deerford village. We've been through the Deerford crossing. Cleoban, Relag. On the way to the Deerford village, the only place with farms would be Woodend Plains. And I thought we've gone through there. Not to be traveling all through the night for this. We've been all through here. Well, let's go west. Let's go back to where it was. Was it not in Copper Lane? I thought that it was. Fun night of travel. Well, we slept during the day, so...
Do you still have family living in the Deerwood, Adair?
No, not these days. Parents left the country years back during the purges. I think about him a lot.
It's a shame you and your family suffered, even after the Saints' War ended. You Deerwoodens certainly have a knack for holding on to old grudges.
Looking at my map of the local area, I think it's up here, yeah. Okay. It is here. Well, we've traveled all throughout the night, so I guess we'll have to rest during the day. Maybe I'll try to get to know the grieving widow better. Grieving mother, sorry. Close enough. I gave her the name. We haven't used any scrolls in combat, and I don't think we've sold any scrolls. So we must have the scroll on us if we've looted so much. It's hard to know what we've brought with us. I know we found bandits all over the place. So this woman was at the end of the hall, if I remember correctly. This is her. She's an Orlin, isn't she?
Welcome.
Ever inquisitive, I see. I had questions about the missing scroll. Ask. Tell me what you know about the thieves. Very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the god of secrets. That, and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. I don't remember encountering any farmhouses there, but I'll return the scroll. Well, at this point, I showed her everything. We don't have what she asked for. We'll just have to return that way, but we have to go up to Caed Nua first. That's our priority. After our rest, speak to the grieving mother again. Try to recall her vision. Perhaps we can find this place.
Saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
A huge forest stretching out beneath a great rock? As she kneels before me on the ground, she whispers to me, hoarsely and even fainter, with the distance between us.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
Okay, so the stone is what she focuses on. It was a plateau of granite carved into a tower. She wants to know... She leans back, looking at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on... She doesn't know if that's her memory. Well, let's keep trying, then.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Mountain ledge. Atop a great plateau in the middle of a forest.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
It was silver Audra, its surface warmed by the sun. As I watch her hands rise before her, she clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling them for the first time, and she stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice as they swing with the movement.
And what did these hands hold?
A newborn child. There's a sudden intake of breath, and then a release. Her eyes blur closed, forming into slits. But in the brief glimpse I have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seem to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, and then I feel her once again in my thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
With the words come a river of impulses, thoughts, as if loose from a breaking dam. And as my mind wraps the impulses into words, I realize it is her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There is such an intensity I almost want to step back from the flow, but I find the wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Among them is a name, Watcher. What is the birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by Kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glenfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
In your memory, you helped a woman give birth.
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There is much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Audra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel. Counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide drafts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me of the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
You sense the mother's thoughts. Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, and most of all, the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock, where one could find shelter, clefts where you could feel the Audra all around you. As she speaks, I feel my legs bent across and the warmth of walls around me and blankets woven thick beneath me. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasting years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and child breathe again, I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them, let their feelings pass into a newborn, and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Did these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after, I gave a set to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory the mother and child shared. I feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and I can feel a smile being shared, then it flickers and is gone. As the bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onwards, fastened about their wrists, to care for him in mind and body. There is no magic in it except the magic of practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs, the mother could know through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing, between us. If not watched children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind, I know the spirit has changed, and the bonds we shared are long gone. The shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. You watched over these children for years after the birth? Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then, the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength, even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. Sounds like you've seen tragedy, too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell, sometimes while alive, if their paths and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. Sounds like a good thing, too. I have other questions about the birthing bell. Ask what you will, I will provide what answers I can. Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There is a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she is going to fade from my vision, as if she can't bear to be seen, and there is a spike of fear, alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to me. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. You feel the word Watcher resounding in her mind. You're frightened. Something about the Watchers. As the thought of Watchers crosses my mind, I feel a sharp pain, stabbing, and the sudden burn of lashes across my back and shoulder, and then it is gone, and I feel the grieving mother before me, silent, almost fearful, wary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
But if they came to you to read their child's souls, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
And what if it turned out to be untrue?
Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child, and once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own.
So you shaped their thoughts, made their readings true.
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
That is not what a Watcher does. We do not shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling.
I see what you mean.
And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them, and with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
This goes against my teachings, though. To inflict your will on another, that is not reading, that is control.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
Did we share that memory, or did you inflict it on me? And suddenly there's a rasping cry across my consciousness. She raises her hands, and I see the chimes drape from them. Yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
I'm sorry, but I refuse to exercise that kind of control over others, even for a greater good.
This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight.
No one will learn if you already make them do the right thing. That's part of the cycle. Loss and grief people learn from. mistakes, even if it's fatal, people will learn from. You're not allowing that learning. Let's just continue our journeys for now.